Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to my channel. My name is Joanna. If this is your first time watching, thank you so much for being here. I hope you like what you hear. And if you like what you experience with this channel, I would love for you to share this with a friend or two. The more people have this information in terms of empowerment, the more I believe we will be able to experience a much better world. So if you are into more empowerment, I hope that you stay. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for coming back. Without you, I wouldn't do this, and I absolutely love what I do because it reminds me what home is and what home isn't. And being on planet Earth, even though it is our home now, this is ultimately not what our home is. But today, I was guided to do a little bit of a video, informational video on manifestation, manifesting 101. Everyone has heard the idea of manifesting. Basically, to manifest means to make shit happen, to make something real, to make something an experience. And we all manifest with our minds. We are very powerful manifestors, and we have very powerful minds. The problem with that equation is that most of the time we don't understand our own minds. So we don't understand how our mind works. And if our minds are a very powerful tool for creation, then it would make sense to understand as much as we can about our own mind, which is a very powerful tool for manifestation. And with being a new year, and by the way, thank you for reminding me, if you are looking at wanting to see what might be coming for you in 2025, I released the 2025 forecasts for Zodiac signs just about a week ago. They're ready to go. If you are interested to seeing what potentially might be shaping up for you in your particular life, that information is down below. I made these forecasts crazy affordable so that everyone can afford it. And because I believe that this information is valuable enough to be out there. So with that said, this being a new year, and it is a year of a lot of opportunities, but also what feels like some pitfalls, right? Sometimes we need pitfalls in order to learn from them so that we no longer continue experiencing the same pitfalls. But in terms of manifesting, being in a new year means we are having a fresh start or a fresh new beginning to a new year. And 2025, according to my team, is a very pivotal time in terms of setting into motion new foundations so that they can support us 2026 and beyond. In other words, whatever we put forth in year 2025 in terms of our own belief systems, values, structures, whatever we put in place in 2025 is going to serve us in terms of manifesting. So we better make sure that we put forth the right ingredients. In other words, if we are wanting to harvest apples, if we plant a pear tree, we're going to experience pears and not apples. So this is a metaphor for making sure that we plant the right seeds. And what are seeds? Seeds are basically containers of information that's unmanifested. So in 2025, it is important that we plant the right seeds so that we can experience the equivalent manifestation of those seeds. Simple example. If you are wanting to experience a lot more money, financially speaking, then you must make sure that you are planting the right seeds and the right ingredients. If your if your belief system around money is one of lack or fear or some other limiting energy, then planting that seed is going to give us the equivalent experience, which is more lack of money, lack of finances. So we have to go back to the root of the problem and identify first and foremost what is the problem. So in the example of money, the problem is I have no money. Since the problem is a manifestation of a belief system, what belief system must we have in order to experience lack of money? We must have a belief of lack. And that's not the right ingredient to sow, or it's not the right fuel, it's not the right seed to sow if we want to have a greater abundance or a greater financial flow. And manifesting, or the way I'm being asked to present it, is simply focused intention, which equals experience. And why is that such an important thing? Because everything is energy. And when we focus energy in a certain direction, we are effectively directing life force towards our intention. And it is just basically a matter of time before that intention becomes our reality. But we have to give it a focus. Here's a problem. For someone who is not in experience of a lot of money, they may not believe that they have any negative or limiting beliefs around money because it's all very unconscious. They actually may be saying, no, I deserve a lot more money. I am worthy of more money. Where in reality, their deeply subconscious belief says, I'm not worthy. So in order to experience the abundance, we have to deal with the information that tells us that we are not worthy. And there's always a source of that belief system. So in 2025, to say it differently, in order for us to ensure that we manifest whatever it is that we want, we have to make sure that we are in energetic alignment with it. Because if we are not in alignment with it, we are at odds with it. And when you're at odds with something, you're in resistance to it. So in 2025, it's really important to look at how we are standing in our own way, of experiencing whatever it is that we want to experience. So remember, focused intention equals experiences. Thoughts affect matter. We all know that, we all have heard the saying, you are what you eat, you are what you think, you experience what you believe. So how does this affect the aspect of manifestation? Well, it basically means that whatever it is that you believe, consciously or unconsciously, predominantly unconsciously, is likely going to equal an experience in your life. So again, with the idea of money, if your belief around money is one of lack or one of scarcity or one of fear, then you are more likely to experience more of that in your experience. However, you may not know that you are focusing on lack. What you are doing is you're focusing on money, but to you, money equals lack. So we have to identify our lack consciousness around whatever it is that we are wanting to manifest. And by far the biggest challenge I have with my clients is them wanting to manifest something, but their belief system around what they're wanting to manifest is one of limitation or one of fear. That is by far the biggest piece. And rather than trying to control the environment and try to control the environment, it's always a matter of going back to the very source of the problem that we are experiencing. So if I give you an example of a relationship, because that's a very common one. If someone is wanting or trying to experience a loving relationship, but they have a fear attached to the idea of a relationship. Let's say it's a fear of abandonment, okay? Because there was a relationship at one time in one's life where the person felt abandoned by another person, and that created lack of trust in the idea, within the context of relationship. So even though a person is trying to manifest a beautiful relationship, they have a belief system that's one of fear and lack of trust. Why on earth would you want to experience more of that? Who the hell wants more distrust in their life? So you will naturally want to keep yourself away from it. In other words, in order to experience a beautiful relationship, one which you haven't had yet, or more beautiful, you first have to look at your associations with regards to what beliefs do you have around relationships. Because if your belief, hidden, unconscious belief system says, relationships are bad, or relationships keep me stranded, or relationships I can't trust, as long as you form a firm belief that this is what relationship is to you, it's going to be very hard for you to experience a richer, more abundant relationship, because you will keep yourself away from it because it's not aligned with what you believe. So law of attraction heavily relies on what we deeply, mostly unconsciously, believe. And that is by far the biggest key component of powerful manifestation, is to understand your belief systems around what it is that you are wanting to manifest, so that you are in alignment to whatever that is. I want to read you something with regards to manifestation, because I'll go through some ways that you can improve our manifestation. So according to a Harvard study on MBA students in 1979, the study found that only 3% of students had clear written goals with plans to achieve them, while 13 had goals but no formal plans, and 84% had not specific goals at all. 20 years later, the 3% who had written goals were earning on average 10 times as much as the other 97% combined, which means this demonstrates a tangible impact of clarity and focus, which is a key to manifestation. So that was done on the visualization success rates. Here's a study around belief and intention. In 2015, study published in Frontiers in Psychology revealed that individuals who regularly practice visualization exercises, such as imagining themselves achieving their goals, reported a 32% higher success rate in reaching their objectives compared to those who relied on traditional planning methods without visualization. So we're going to be talking about visualization and beliefs as one of the techniques. Manifestation and optimism. According to a 2009 study from University of California, people who practice positive mental rehearsal, which is a manifesting technique, had a 24% greater chance of achieving their goals than those who didn't. This effect was attributed to increased motivation and resilience in the face of obstacles. Law of attraction. A survey by OnePoll 2021 found that 67% of people who used manifestation techniques like vision boards, affirmations, or journaling felt they had achieved their goals faster compared to when they relied solely on rational and traditional goal-setting strategies. So what these studies are showing is that although there are actionable steps required to manifesting, the role of positive thinking, the right beliefs and intentions makes a huge role in how potently we manifest. And the more we are aligned energetically with whatever it is that we're trying to manifest, it literally is a matter of time before that manifestation is or becomes our experience. The thing that we need to learn how to do, and I feel that this is a key point for me to mention, to detach from the desperation of wanting to have that experience. Because if we are attached to the experience and it's out of desperation, then what we are really working is with energy of fear. So what we have to do is we have to look at our fear-based assumptions and our fear-based beliefs in terms of what we are wanting to manifest. And that's effectively called shadow work in my world. This is what I do all day long. So let's talk about manifesting. One of the best way, well, there's many roads to manifesting. There's many ways to manifesting, but at the end of the day, it's all one and the same. It's all about an energetic alignment. So in order for us to manifest more effectively, we have to be energetically aligned to that belief. Okay? In other words, how we are vibrating and how what we're trying to manifest is vibrating has to be a match. It can't be like this. Right? It has to be a match. Which brings me to the point of manifesting from space of abundance versus manifesting from space of scarcity. If we are manifesting from a space of lack, we are effectively using the lack energy to create going forward. So if we are using the lack energy to create going forward, we will experience more LACK going forward, just the way it is. On the other hand, when we practice manifesting from a space of inner abundance, we are setting forth an intention and a vibration that is of abundance. And anything you vibrate at, anything you project forward, you will receive. So in order for us to receive more abundance on whatever level, we have to vibrate at that abundance experience, at that abundance vibration, which means we have to look within ourselves and ask ourselves many questions. One of the biggest questions we are here to ask ourselves with regards to manifestation is, who am I and what do I believe? Who am I and what do I believe? And there will be many things that will come to your mind. But also, it's to ask an even deeper question. What is underneath what I believe? What is underneath what I believe? Because underneath of what you believe is the root cause of your belief system. And what we're here to do in this lifetime is we're here to effectively deal and shift the root of our negative programming of our limited belief systems. And these roots are usually ancestral. So in this lifetime, in order for you to manifest much more effectively, you want to make sure that you look at your ancestral beliefs you have around money, for example, around relationship, whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest. And notice if there's any negative or lower vibrating energy that is attached to whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest. Because as long as you have a lower vibrating energy attached to whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, you're going to manifest that, but at a much lower vibration, which means you're not going to manifest anything different. You're going to manifest more of the same. So how does that work with law of attraction? Well, first and foremost, just like you are what you eat, you have to remember that you are what you believe. You will experience what you believe. Your experience is directly tied to what you believe. So one of the things I would encourage you to do is to create a vision board. You all know what vision board is. And on this vision board, Put things that visually trigger a feeling that you want to experience. For example, if you want a new car, imagine yourself sitting in a brand new car and notice what that experience feels like. It could be thrilling, it could be uplifting, it may be some other experience that you haven't even thought of. So rather than trying to attach yourself to the image as the manifested form, I want you to consider that the car is just a vehicle to whatever it is that you're trying to experience or wanting to experience emotion-wise and feeling-wise. Because ultimately, that's what you want. You want to feel a certain way. So let's say you have a picture of someone on the beach on your vision board, and that picture to you signifies peace, perhaps self-acceptance, perhaps luxury, whatever it is that it triggers in you in terms of positive feelings. I want you to connect to that feeling and bring that feeling into your heart and own it. In other words, whatever you are wanting to manifest, you are a proud owner of it already in terms of feelings. It is just not yet in a materialized form. So the vision board serves as a way for you to be triggered to the emotional component of what it is that you're wanting to manifest. And the more you connect with that feeling, the more you connect with that emotion, the more you direct your energies towards that equivalent outcome. I hope that's making sense. Also, visualizing helps you to trigger certain feelings and emotions you didn't know you had about whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Let's say, using the same example, you want a brand new car, but the moment you imagine sitting in your new car, you get this jolt that doesn't feel comfortable, that doesn't feel right. Well, perhaps somewhere in your history, you had a really bad car accident, and actually you trying to manifest the car is triggering an old response that is tied to an experience where you were in a crash of a car or you were in a car crash. So what you want to do is you want to clear or shift that energy around that experience. And it may be something from a different lifetime, but you want to shift that experience of the car crash so that you no longer are associating car with something bad. So visualization is not only powerful because it allows us to get in tune with the feeling that we're wanting to manifest, but it also exposes some hidden truths. So I would encourage you to do the manifestation board or the visualization board, visual board, to help you manifest faster. It's going to speed up the process, if you will, of you bringing into alignment, into your conscious experience, your manifestation. Your role is essentially to connect with the energy that you're wanting to manifest and to align with it in a way where you don't feel any resistance. The more resistance you have towards something you're trying to manifest, the more it is telling you that this resistance is it's a manifestation of some sort of conflict. You want to make sure that you resolve this conflict that is not in alignment with whatever you're wanting to manifest. So again, I'm going to say the word shadow work, parts work. There's different names for it. This is what I do all day long. Remember, thoughts affect matter. We have many thoughts throughout the day that we're not even conscious of because they're so highly unconsciously driven. But just because something is unconsciously driven doesn't mean it doesn't have an effect. Of course it does. In fact, our unconscious programming has a direct, some often negative effect on the patterns that we do each and every day. And the more we are recreating the same patterns, the more we are creating more of the same. So if we're wanting to manifest something different, we have to first look at our patterns of our manifestation right now and our thinking patterns. Simple example, which I gave earlier. If you're trying to manifest more money, a relationship, whatever it is, notice your pattern with regards to money or with regards to relationships. Notice the patterns. What is your pattern around money? Mine, for example, was for the longest time that whenever I would pick up a mail and there would be an envelope with a bill, right away I would get this feeling of anxiety. And that's because when I realized and I had to work through it, I realized that my belief around money was massive confusion. So anything that I saw that reminded me of money also created a feeling of confusion in me. And that felt very uncomfortable and very anxious. So naturally, I was really not a really good manifester when it comes to financial abundance, because money to me equaled confusion. And I didn't want more confusion in my life. I had enough for one lifetime. So I naturally stood in my way of experiencing more money because I didn't want to let it in, because that represented confusion to me and it represented anxiety. So I had to work through my deeply rooted belief systems in order to uncover or discover this resistance I had towards money. And then I had to shift it. I had to work through it. I had to do some shadow work, inner child work. And finally, I can say that after, a few years, I would say 85 to 90% free of the limited programming around money. It still comes up once in a while, but it's nowhere near as much as it used to be, which helped me create trust that money will come. And it helped me be much less resistant to abundance coming my way. And I have experienced a lot more abundance coming my way. And with that, less need to try to overextend myself financially. Because I would, in the past, not only did I have a hard time trying to experience more money flow, when I did, I spent it because my consciousness around money was one of confusion and lack. So I was naturally getting rid of it. So again, the reason why I'm saying this is because shadow work is critical and crucial to our process of manifestation. Shadow work is essentially, what is shadow work? Shadow work is essentially facing the aspects of ourselves that are hidden. Things we don't like, things we are afraid of. And that's not necessarily always an easy process, but it is critical in order to help us all become much more potent manifestors. Now, when I say potent, I want to correct myself. We're potent already, whether we like it or not. We're just not in awareness of how potent we are because we are creating mostly unconsciously. So to experience more abundance again in your life, you first have to become conscious of your own beliefs around abundance. And remember, 2025 is a critical year because any new belief systems that we put in place, that we set in stone this year, are going to serve us going forward for long time to come. So what I'm saying essentially is that if we continue to have negative and limiting belief systems and we keep repeating the same thing over and over again because we're going by unconscious programming and we are just going through the motions, we're going to be experiencing lack and limitation going forward. But not only that, we're going to experience it much faster. So 2025 is a massive year of a manifestation. By the way, they're saying you don't control manifestation, you let it happen. You don't control manifestation, you let it happen. In other words, manifestation works best when we allow things to come to us. When we are in alignment, we don't have to control nearly as much because when we are in alignment, we are naturally drawn to us or attract attract whatever it is that we are vibrating at. So you guys know that anything that you are not on a vibrational level with, you're not going to experience. In other words, in order for you to experience this, you have to be on the same vibrational level. That's just the way it works. If your vibration is different than what it is that you're trying to experience, you're not a match. It's not going to happen. It's a simple law of attraction. So let's talk about some of the things that you might want to do to help you manifest better. Visualizations, obviously. Visualizing your chosen destination, visualizing your desired outcome, and immersing yourself in the experience of having it already. Activating the energetic component that will help you become a natural magnet to it. So if you have any intentions for 2025, it would behoove you to have a clear vision in your mind of that manifested form and immerse yourself in the feeling of that manifestation. In other words, embody the feeling of that manifestation being part of your life right now. Embody the feeling and then watch what happens. What else? Affirmations. Another key component for manifesting. If you say to yourself, for example, I'll never get lucky, I'll never have enough money, money is always scarce. Those are affirmations that you tell yourself each and every day without you even thinking about it. If your affirmation is one of limitation, then that means that your affirmation is coming from a negative belief system. So we have to take care of the belief system first. But we can shift our programming by changing our patterns by becoming more conscious. So when it comes to manifestation, one of the key components that you want to introduce is you want to introduce positive affirming statements that are aligned with your chosen destination. Let's say you want a lot of money because everybody knows money. Affirmations such as, I am abundant. I am abundant. Now, here's the thing. When you say to yourself that I am abundant, but you are not, then you're really lying to yourself. Well, not necessarily. In fact, you are more than abundant already. You just don't see it within yourself. So the truth actually is that you are abundant already. You just don't see it inside of you. It's because you don't see your own value yet. But just because you don't see your own value does not mean that there is no value to you. Just because you don't see your own ability to create doesn't mean that you are not a powerful creator. Of course you are. You're just not seeing it. So affirmations such as I am abundant are going to help you redirect your attention towards whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest. And although it may feel like you are lying to yourself when you're saying to yourself, I am abundant, it's not that you're lying. I want you to think of it this way. It's not that you're not abundant inside. It's you are not seeing yourself as an abundant person because you're not seeing your own value. And again, just because you're not seeing it doesn't mean you're not that already. Okay? So affirmations such as I am worthy, which is going to bring up some stuff for you. And when stuff comes up, it's important for you to look, okay, what's coming up for me? When I say to myself, I am not worthy, why do I feel off? Well, because what you say to yourself is triggering a belief system that is completely in the opposition to what you are saying. So what we have to do is we have to focus on the belief. We have not to focus on the belief. We have to reshape our belief system. We have to rethink what we believe. We have to reframe what we believe. But positive affirmations will help you get there. So positive affirmations put you more in an alignment with what you're wanting to achieve, but also uproot your belief systems that are currently standing in the way. And by being conscious of your belief systems, you can change your beliefs, which will automatically shift what you attract to yourself. Okay. Setting clear intentions. I think that's something that is pretty standard. Focused intention equals experience. Knowing what your intention is. For example, if your intention is to be rich, yeah, okay, let's say that's the goal. Let's say you're rich. Now what? First of all, how do you feel when you're rich? You feel good, you feel free, okay? What do you do with it? Let's say you're rich, what do you do with it? It's always the component on in terms of how you want to feel. So you want lots of money because it gives you safety, security. You want to be rich because you want to be maybe recognized. You want to feel a certain way. But once you feel a certain way, once you get that, then what? So although intention is and focus is very important, it is also important to understand that just because you focus on a thing doesn't necessarily mean that that thing is going to arrive in the exact form that you're wanting. What if it's better? So do set intentions to what you want to experience, but always leave room for something more or something better to manifest. So let me give you an example. Let's say you want to manifest a job that does this, pays this, makes you happy. Imagine yourself in that scenario, but also consider that there is something better you haven't even thought of yet, because you haven't thought about it yet. Allow the universe room to bring you something more, even better than what you're expecting. So have your intentions, but don't be too rigid in terms of how your manifestation has to look. Because remember, what you are after is an experience, a certain experience. That experience has a connection to how you feel. Always try to tune into the feeling of what you want to experience and the how it comes to you, in what package, and when it arrives. Leave that up to the universe. Your job is to align with your intentions, to make sure that you are in energetic alignment in whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest, and leave the rest to the world, which, yes, requires you to have a certain level of trust. If you don't believe or you don't trust that you can manifest what it is that you want, then we're back to square one. We have to look at your beliefs. Okay? But the message I want to send here is this. Have focus, have intentions, but always leave a little bit of room to experiencing something that's even bigger and even better. In other words, don't be so rigid and don't be so attached to a specific outcome. I believe that that is key to manifestation. When we detach from the outcome in terms of how we want to control it, we have much easier time manifesting. And I know this with my clients, and I know this as an example in my experience. The more I relax and just put myself energetically out there in a certain way that is going to attract the equivalent energy, I know it's just a matter of time for me to have that experience. I don't have to think about how it's going to happen. Of course, I get ideas, I get inspiration, but I don't have to control it. So the big part of manifesting is not trying to control it. You want to be in charge of your manifestation process, but you don't want to control it. Too much control is not a good thing. Anything else I want to say for you? I'll give you a personal story, and this is actually around money. Years ago, quite a few years now, when I still had a lot of feelings, negative feelings attached to money, my guide said to me, grab a bill, like a $20 bill. They said, close your eyes, hold the bill in your hands, and connect to the energy of what you're holding in your hands. So I was asked to connect with the energy of money. Instantly, I went, and I felt a sense of confusion. And the voice said, this is what money is to you. And it was in that moment that I realized that money to me represented a lot of confusion and a lot of anxiety. And I didn't want confusion and anxiety in my life. So naturally, I always wanted to push it away. The other thing they said to me, or I believe it was a he said to me, my guide said to me, what you're looking at in terms of money, he said, it has zero power. The only power it has is the power you assign to it. And I thought that was sobering. In other words, what I was holding on to, the $20 bill, meant nothing. It only meant something because of the meaning I assigned to it. And the other meaning I assigned to it is that money was somehow, well, it was no good. So I had to shift my relationship with money. And I had to do it on an energetic level. Had I not done any shadow work or any deep inner work, I would still have issues with money because I wouldn't be able to understand what was causing my lack of financial flow. So that's my experience in terms of manifesting abundance. And of course, there's always more to be experienced. But I can honestly say in my own experience, my issues around money coming from scarcity, lack, confusion are now, for the most part, ease and flow. And when I get to these moments where I get triggered and the old way comes in, I consciously have to relax and look at how the universe has never failed me. Never, ever has the universe failed me. It always took care of me. And it brings me back to the idea, okay, I just have to trust it. And I had to realize that in order for me to do what I do, to sit here in front of you and spend my time in doing a lot of this content, I need to be able to pay my bills. And if I'm not able to do that, doing this work, then I have to go get a, let's say, 9 to 5. Nothing wrong with that. But then I can't do this. So then the universe has to support me. It has no other option. So here's what I'm going to say to you. I want you to consider that the universe always supports you. The universe always supports you. When you feel like you're on your path, when you are on your path, even when you're not on your path, whatever that may be, the universe always supports you because the universe always responds to your beliefs. Your job in 2025 and with regards to manifestation is take a really good look at your deeply hidden beliefs, because those, more than anything else, will either amplify your power of manifestation this year, or will it keep it at bay the same? And if you're watching this, I'm pretty sure you want to manifest something more in your life. Doesn't mean you don't have anything, it's just you want to experience something more, even if it's just to experience bringing more money so that you can share it with others, whatever it may be. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know what your thoughts are on it, and I will do more videos like this because I believe that these are concepts that really need to be talked about, because a lot of people are trying to manifest, but they're getting frustrated and scared because why is this not happening? It's not happening because you're not in alignment with it. It's not happening because you're not in alignment with it. Being in alignment with whatever it is that you're trying to manifest is going to exponentially, magnify your ability to manifest whatever it is. And we are all powerful beings, but we are creatures of habits, and most of our habits are unconscious, conditioned beliefs and patterns. So, you know, the logical analogy is that in order for us to experience more, we have to look at what we are limiting and how we are limiting ourselves in terms of our beliefs. And I think that's all I have for you. Let me know how this feels for you. Again, the 2025 forecasts are down below. Each one of them is filled with different information in terms of what you're likely to experience in this lifetime, or in this year, pardon me. And what are some of the things that you are likely going to be working through in order to heal it, in order to arrive at the other side of your limitations? So with that said, thank you so much for being here. Please click like, share, subscribe. My team and I would really appreciate this. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.